Hi, this is Van Patrick Oates from Rapids Awards and More. People ask, what is the more part of Awards and More? Well, that means that we're more than just an award store. We engrave glass, wood, plastic, guns, Yeti cups, medals, knives, and so much more. We're located on the web at awardsandmore.us. And if you're in the Wisconsin Rapids area, visit our physical store at 1210 Pepper Avenue or check us out on Facebook. Rapids Awards and More than just awards.
Grassland Dairy Products is your match for an exciting new career today. Go to grassland.com to see the opportunities waiting for you. Browse through careers like CDL truck driver, shipping and receiving, line tech, quality assurance, forklift, maintenance tech, inventory associates, and more. Great compensation, weekly pay, and zero premium, company paid health, dental, and life. Apply now at grassland.com or in person at Grassland Dairy Products, Fairground Avenue, just south of Greenwood.
Hosting a tournament, running a sports camp, collecting team fees, youth or adult, Tournament Depot offers end-to-end solutions for everything you need to make running your organization a pleasure. Quick registration setup, team management, communication, leaderboard, online updates, simple and or self-check-in. Don't hate the bookkeeping process. Let us help make them painless and quick. Let us show you how easy it can be. Check us out at tournamentdepot.com or call us at 612-524-9981 for information.
Wondering what to feed your team after work, the game, or this weekend? Chips Hamburgers in Marshfield and Wisconsin Rapids has tasty, char-broiled burgers for any hungry appetite. From the classic hamburger to the famous Chips Champ and everything in between, check out our daily specials. Stop inside to enjoy your meal with comfortable seating. See our complete menu of burgers, hot ham and cheese, hot beef, chicken and fish, fries, rings, curds, and ice cream served year-round. In a hurry? Same great menu in the drive-thru. Chips Hamburgers in Marshfield and Wisconsin Rapids.
Hi, I'm Ashley. I'm the director at Little Sprouts. Little Sprouts has been a real great community. It's very family friendly. It feels like a big family to me, and being the new director here, I felt very welcomed into the family. I like the smaller family. Everybody knows everybody, and you all get to know everybody in the center, and we do family activities and much of a family atmosphere.
Scotty's Pizza and Chicken of Marshfield has been voted Best Pizza in Marshfield 12 years in a row. With popular choices like broccoli bacon cheese, drunken chicken, or any of the 25 specialty pizzas, Scotty's is ready to earn your vote now at 715-384-8118. Choose Scotty's for pizza, chicken, subs, sandwiches, and more. Carry out, dine-in, and delivery. Scotty's Pizza and Chicken, 715-384-8118. With more winter snow on the way, make your way to Chili Implement. Chili Implement, located conveniently between Marshfield and Chili, just north of Highway 10, is ready to help you make snow removal easier. Visit Chili Implement and see how their complete selection of Kubota and Cub Cadet snow removal machines will simplify your winter. Chili Implement open Monday through Saturday for sales, service, and parts. Chili Implement will also help you finance your next purchase. You can also see more at chiliimplement.com.
First things first with Mid-State Technical College. Dual credit programs earn you college credit in high school. Then choose a path that suits you. Use your skills to start your career or transfer to a university to continue your degree. Choose a new career. Transition easily and quickly by upgrading your skills. Or continue your education with dozens of classes to get you on your path. No matter your stage of the game, your first move is Mid-State Technical College.
Witness the difference of a Catholic education at Columbus Catholic Schools.
I think everyone should just know what makes this place special.
Come and see. That's just what the Lord always said, and put your toe in the water. They are great schools, and it's a good fit. I'd always want them to come and to just feel the goodness and the family atmosphere.
I invite everyone just to come in and see what it's about and to see if it might be right for them and their family.
We invite you to schedule a tour today. Witness
I had an employee at once asked me to prioritize family, faith, and business, and I put them in that order in particular. For each one of our employees, it's family first. You do what is best for you and your family. Then the rest of it will take care of itself. It's about making sure you make the best decisions for you and your family.
From first contact at Dental Clinic of Marshfield, their dentists are committed to your individual attention and strive to provide personalized oral health care. They work hard to create the ultimate stress-free and comfortable dental experience. It is their mission to educate and provide the patients with the best dental care in Central Wisconsin. Whether you're looking for information on implants, teeth whitening, crowns, orthodontics, dentures, or any dental service, Dental Clinic of Marshfield has it for you. You can book your appointment online at dentalclinicofmarshfield.com or give them a call at one of their 3 locations in Marshfield, Stratford, or Neillsville today.
If you lose direction, you can grab my hand. I'll be the one behind you to say no one-man band. Just follow your dreams and keep your promises.
We're all different, but we all want great health insurance. See why we're rated #1 in service, coverage, and affordability in Central Wisconsin.
We know how a bank should be at Partners Bank. Banking should be easier, treating our customers as valued and important. Services should be better with online and mobile banking and locations close to where you live and work. Loans should be quicker, and we make all decisions locally with years of experience helping people with their financing needs. Partners Bank, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender.
Partners Bank, better together.
When the last thing you need to happen does. One of our 17 mobile service trucks from Sherrill Tire and Service Center can get you rolling again. Sherrill Tire and Service Center is your locally owned commercial and farm tire specialist. Find us at SherrillTire.com. When the last thing you need to happen does. One of our 17 mobile service trucks from Sherrill Tire and Service Center can get you rolling again. Sherrill Tire and Service Center is your locally owned commercial and farm tire specialist. Find us at SherrillTire.com. When the last thing you need to happen
At the Granite Shop, we take great pride in what we do. We offer high-quality natural stone granite as well as a huge selection of man-made stone. With full slabs as well as a variety of partial remnants, you'll have no problem finding the stone that was meant for you. Our high-end, high-quality granite, quartz, and marble is perfect for any kitchen, bathroom, or remodel need. We are locally owned and operated on County Road C near Stratford. We service all of Wisconsin.
Bauer & Fine Business Technologies is your complete office technology solution. For 60 years, Bauer & Fine Business Technologies has been serving school districts, municipalities, counties, religious organizations, and businesses in Wisconsin and beyond. Visit b-bt.com and let Bauer & Fine Business Technologies be your complete office technology solution. That's b-bt.com. Nasonville Dairy, family owned and operated, bringing you fresh cheese curds made daily, along with many other varieties of Wisconsin-made cheeses and treats. Don't forget to check out our cheese and sausage trays for your upcoming parties and cheese and sausage gift packages for the holiday season or any other special occasion. Nasonville Dairy, located just southwest of Marshfield on US Highway 10, NasonvilleDairy.com.
If you have a fear of overpaying, you have FOOP. But don't worry, switch to US Cellular and get a free Samsung Galaxy S25G, plus no activation fees. So you can stream, capture, and post without FOOP. Switch and get a free Samsung Galaxy S25G at US Cellular. Choose fair.
Northside Computers is Marshfield's U.S. Cellular store. Visit us on South Central Avenue in Marshfield for the latest Samsung, Apple, personal cellular devices, tablets, and more.
Check, 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 check. Okay, and you can make it stereo, right? And good evening, everybody, and welcome to Columbus Catholic High School in Marshfield. We've got boys basketball action for you tonight here on Zaleski Sports as the Owen-Withee Blackhawks have made the trip down to take on the Columbus Dons here in Marshfield tonight. Good evening, I'm Paul Knopf. Andy Knopf is doing the engineering tonight. He's really looking forward to this matchup. Owen-Withee comes in 7-9 overall, 5-5 in the conference. But they are the tallest team in the conference overall and a real matchup nightmare for squads, including Columbus. In fact, they gave Columbus everything they could handle the first time these two teams met. Columbus eked out a 64-62 win thanks to a Sam Wilczek three-pointer in the final seconds of that ball game. Unfortunately, the Blackhawks are down a couple players because of injury tonight, couple starters. And speaking to Coach Russ Weiler before the game, a non-COVID illness has kind of made its way through the locker room. A lot of Hawks have been under the weather and just getting back to practice now and might not have their legs, according to Coach WIAA. So we'll see how this game plays out. Meanwhile, the Dons coming off an uncharacteristic 2-game losing streak. They fell to Colby last Thursday night. The classic game here on Zaleski Sports. If you like high school basketball, you might want to dig that one out of the YouTube archives and take a watch of that one as Colby avenged a loss just a week earlier to the Columbus Dons and beat them. And also Chippewa Falls McDonald took the Dons down over the weekend. Still, the Dons 13-3 on their year so far, 7-1 in the Clover Bell Conference East, and getting set to do battle against the Owen-Withee Blackhawks here tonight. Taking a look at how these teams match up. Again, Owen-Withee comes into this ballgame 7-9 overall, 5-5 in the Clover Bell Conference for head coach Russ Weiler. They're averaging 59.4 points per game and giving up 50.2 points per game. Last time out for Owen-Withee, they knocked off Spencer. It was January 27th. So last Thursday, 62-50 was the final score of that ball game. Took a hard loss to Colby, 82-64 on January 21st. And then going back to Tuesday, January 18th, I was actually at this game as Neillsville came back, and they had no business beating Owen-Withee that night, but somehow they managed to get a 59-55 win over the Blackhawks in Neillsville. But that was a game that Owen-Withee controlled throughout the entire game, and just the last couple of minutes, they looked like they tensed up just a little bit, and Neillsville came back to win on a last-second steal and layup by Tater Lowry. Kind of an unsung hero off the bench for Neillsville in that ballgame. So here we are. They're 7-9 overall, 5-5 in the conference. Meanwhile, Columbus again 13-3 overall, 7-1 in the Clover Bell Conference East. Right now, they're in second place behind Neillsville. Neillsville just picked up a non-conference win last night over Alma Center Lincoln. I was actually at that ball game as well, taking a look at that one. Pretty good performance by Alma Center. They started a couple freshmen, and they hung right with Neillsville for a good portion of that game, but Neillsville just too much. Their combination of size and athleticism too much for Alma Center Lincoln to handle last night. So Neillsville's 9-0 on the season, 14-3 overall, 9-0 in the conference, and they're in the driver's seat in the Clover Bell Conference East. But Columbus and Colby are really nipping at their heels. Columbus 7-1, Colby 8-2. Then the next tier, Loyal and Owen-Withee, are 5-4 and 5-5 in the conference respectively. And then Spencer and Gilman and Greenwood, kind of the lower tier of the conference as of right now. Spencer 2-7, Greenwood 1-8, Gilman 0-10. I know that Spencer and Greenwood match up tonight in basketball action. Just about ready for the start of this one. We'll turn it over to public address announcer Joe Byro for tonight's national anthem and starting lineups, and we'll get you underway in just a few moments here on Zaleski Sports.
Safe from harm and injury, instill in them respect
There you go, our starting lineups for tonight's game. Owen-Withee and Columbus. Owen-Withee will start Elliot Ackerman, a 5'11 junior. Logan Amacher, a 6'4 junior. Carter Klaban, a 6'2 junior. Tyler Weaver, a 6-foot senior. And Rob Wendler, a 6'5 senior. Meanwhile, the Columbus Dons will have their starting lineup of Grant Olson, Cole Noreen, Emmett Konieczny, Blake Jacoby, Sam Wilczek out on the floor tonight. Columbus in their home whites. Owen-Withee in their traveling dark uniforms. Owen-Withee without Caleb Geldernick, who's actually their second leading scorer, actually broke his hand on a dunk. That is about the coolest way you can break your hand. It's a lot better than spraining your ankle on a finger roll as Olsen throws the ball out of bounds looking for Wilczek. Turnover to the Blackhawks. Yeah, I sprained a lot of ankles on jump shots, but never breaking a hand on a dunk. But Geldernick can get up. And he's 6'4" to boot. Now here's Wendler, a senior. He's 6'5". Ball stolen away by Wilczek. Now Wilczek goes to run up in the front court. Layup with left hand, too strong. Shot was altered that time by Ackerman. It's kind of how you might have to play against Owen-Withee, and that's how teams have had success. Don't let them get in their half-court set. You got to put pressure on them full court, speed them up a little bit. Otherwise, they will just pound the offensive glass. When I watched him play against Nilsel had no answer for him. Nilsel had a couple guys out that ball game, but still, they just had no answer on the inside for the length of Owen-Withee on the offensive glass. Here's Amacher wide open, spins, shot is good. Logan Amacher leads the Blackhawks in scoring coming into action tonight, averaging 14 points a game. Cross-court pass to Noreen, 6:38 left to go. Owen-Withee quick lead. And we've got a 10-second violation on the Dons. So two possessions, 2 turnovers if you don't count the steal and mislay it by Wilczek. Dons kind of in a, minor rocky spot in their season right now, having lost 2 in a row. As Amacher whips it around to Ackerman. Here's a pass stolen away by Konieczny. Olsen has it up ahead to Jacoby. Columbus definitely will have the shooting advantage here tonight, especially from the outside. And there's Sam Wilczek from the left corner. And Wilczek, the senior, on the board. He led the Dons in scoring the last time these two teams met. In fact, hitting a three-pointer with 3.7 seconds left on the clock to get the Dons that 2-point victory. That was back on, December 17th, so before Christmas. This season is flying by as the Hawks whip it around. Short corner. Amacher outside. Ball off the hands of Weaver. Comes to Klaban. Shot missed. Fight for the loose ball, and Wendler has to go out of bounds, and it's going to be off of Konieczny's hands. It's going to stay Blackhawk ball. Tyler Weaver will trigger. Tyler is second in scoring on this Blackhawks team. Actually third, averaging 7.9. Caleb Geldernick, who's out for this ballgame, averaging 11. Here's high post, Amacher, 15-footer on the way, too strong. Rebound, Konieczny snatches that board. Now Konieczny down the lane, leaves it outside Jacoby. Three-point look for Noreen, but he decided to pass it up. Gives it to Olsen, 14-footer blocked. Long arm of the law, Amacher. Three-pointer on the way, Konieczny, no good. Rebound comes down to Weaver. When I talked to Jason Zaleski, he said it's absolutely fair game to talk about these gorgeous mullets that the Blackhawks sport. Here's Weaver, three-pointer on the way from the left corner. Got it, left wing. Actually, that was Ackerman, 4-3. Blackhawks up 5-3. Here's Konieczny. Down the lane on a bounce, Noreen. Easy break of the press that time. And the Dons tie it up at 5. Full court pressure by the Dons. Here's Wendler up ahead to Ackerman. Ackerman hounded from behind, goes down the lane. Tough shot, force that one up. Rebound comes to Noreen. Noreen's got numbers. He'll pull it outside, leave it for Wilczek, who will drive with the left hand down the baseline, loses it out of bounds. Turnover back to Owen-Withee. So during this 2-game losing streak, we saw him play against Colby. That was just a very good basketball game. Not sure how the game transpired up in Chippewa Falls against McDonald. McDonald winning that one by 10. Zamacher holds. Leaves it outside to Klaban. Ball knocked out of bounds. It's going to stay Blackhawks ball. But so far, one thing the Dons have to make sure they don't do is turn the ball over too much against the Blackhawks. That's their advantage, how smart they play. Amacher has trouble handling. Good pass by Wendler. Amacher just couldn't handle it. Comes to Ackerman. That was a turn of a friendly card that time for Ackerman. Couldn't get it to go. Here's Olsen. Front court, Noreen thinks about the three. Outside Konechny. Drives down the lane. Oh, beautiful move by Konechny with the jump stop. Sliding through, and Konechny on the board. Sophomore's got his first bucket. And the Dons up by 2, 7-5. Here's Amacher. He's going to be double-teamed. Outside, a wild shot by Klaban. And the rebound comes down to Jacoby. Jacoby outside to Wilczek. Down the lane. Little runner with the right hand is good for Sam Wilczek. That's the kind of shot you're going to have to use a lot when you're going to the basket against these taller Blackhawks. That little runner, that teardrop that's so hard to block, and there's Wilczek with the near steal. He gets tied up by Ackerman, and it's going to be Blackhawks ball. Gage Hansen, 5'10 senior, checking in. Elliot Ackerman will check out for the Blackhawks. Weaver inbounds to Klaban. Swing it around to Hansen. Here's high post. Weaver, 15-footer. Rolls around and good. Shooter's touched that time for Tyler Weaver, and Tyler's got his first bucket. Here's Cole Noreen on a bounce from Konechny. Outside Konechny, drives with the right hand and throws it out of bounds. Trying to hit Jacoby. Just didn't have an angle that time. Got substitutions for the Dons as Noreen and Olsen will take a seat. Charlie Moore and Lucas Krucklau on for the Dons. Here's a shot on the way for Owen-Withee, no good. Amacher had a hand on it, couldn't corral that loose ball. Konechny outside Jacoby, thinks about the long three, now drive with the right hand. Konechny, guarded by Klaban. Wilczek, they swing it around. Against man defense right now, it looks like. No. Check that. I'm going to have to check that a little bit more carefully as Jacoby's open for a right wing three and nails it. Nice pass by Wilczek. And Jacoby has his first bucket. It's 12-7, 5-point lead for the Dons. Hayden Weiler onto the floor now for Owen-Withee. He's a 5'11 junior. Klaban way out high, hitting the high post, and Weaver goes up for a shot and going to get Jacoby on the arm as Weaver was going to turn and try to hit that high post jump shot from 15. Instead, he'll get two free ones from 15. Tyler Weaver at the Serve Pro Jamie Wenzel free throw line. Call Jamie Wenzel at Serve Pro for the #1 choice in cleanup and restoration. Serve Pro like it never happened. First free throw is up and good for Weaver. Weaver's got 3. That was the first personal foul called tonight. That seems to be a bit of a trend in the games I've been doing lately. Very few foul calls. Second free throw is up and good for Weaver. So Weaver a perfect 2 for 2 from the free throw line. The lead is 3, 12-9. Looks like Owen-Withee's playing a little 1-3-1 trapping defense, full court. Charlie Moore open for 3. Came off his hand, kind of funny that time. Krucklau couldn't corral it. Weaver with the board. And now here come the Blackhawks. Scouting report is out on Charlie Moore. He will drain the 3. He actually had 12 points against the Blackhawks back on December 17th. Klaban outside to Weiler, back to Klaban. Owen-Withee just content to whip it around the perimeter. Not a great outside shooting team are these Blackhawks. Their game is high post and in. And part of their game, there's a leave for Amacher. Nice pass by Klaban to a wide open Amacher who lays it up and in, and Logan's got 4. Yeah, their game is get the ball on the rim and then hit the offensive glass, and they're tough to keep off the glass. Wilczek, open 3, left corner. Off the back iron, no good. Charlie Moore with the rebound. Wilczek Down the lane, little runner is short. Rebound goes off of Krucklau's hands and out of bounds. Are they going to say that was... Oh, they're going to say it's Columbus ball. Send that to the league office for a little replay review. Outside Charlie Moore, left corner, guarded by Klauman. Blake Jacoby, top of the key. Wilczek to Konieczny. Three-pointer, right wing. Got it. Nice ball movement by the Dons that time. Finding Konieczny. Catch and shoot. Here's Hansen going down the lane line, fouled by Wilczek. See if that was in the act of shooting or if they're going to trigger from the baseline. Looks like 2 shots coming up for Hansen. 15-11 here at the early going. 10:22 left to play in the first half. Gage Hansen, the senior at the free throw line. That's off the back iron, no good. Ackerman back on the floor for Owen-Withee. Taking a seat is Weaver. Weaver's done some nice things in the high post for the Blackhawks here in the early going. Second free throw for Hansen is good. So Hansen 1 for 2 from the line. Here come the Dons. Jacoby on a skip across to Wilczek. Outside Charlie Moore, thinks about the three, now skips it out Jacoby. Jacoby drives to the left hand, back outside Charlie Moore. Open left corner three, in and out, rebound Jacoby. As we said, such a good rebounder for his size. Konieczny, guarded by Weiler. Konieczny puts a move on, ball stolen away by Hansen. Ackerman comes away with that loose ball, and Moore gets tackled. Let's see what the call is. Oh, they're going to get Charlie Moore for the foul. I think Charlie Moore got the worst of that one, but gets a little salt in the wound that time after getting tackled. Gets called for the foul. It's the fog of war. It's Klauban. Hits Hansen. Klauban way outside for the Blackhawks. Here's Amacher down the left baseline. Little runner from 8, no good. Fight for the loose board. There's the Blackhawks' length. An offensive board and a reset. Outside, Klauban, long three on the way. Back iron, no good. Amacher tried to swat that one away, but Konieczny got it. Now up ahead, nice pass to Jacoby. Hits Kreklau. Bodies all over the place, and we're going to get a foul on Amacher. Just a lot of long limbs and mullets flying around out there on that particular possession as Wendler going to check in. Amacher will take a seat after picking up his first personal foul. 9:18 left to go here in the first half. Grant Olson getting set to check in for the Dons. And he'll check in for Kreklau. Konieczny going to trigger on the baseline. Outside to Jacoby. Jacoby drives down, splits the 2-3 defense that time. Olson on a drive, hangs, finishes. Love Grant Olson's game when he's going to the basket like that. Here's Ackerman, ball stolen away with Wilczek. Oh, that was an anticipation call that time. As that ball was just hanging out there for Wilczek to grab, but Wilczek got him on the arm. And that's going to be a foul against Wilczek. He'll go to the bench with 2 personal fouls. Wilczek awfully aggressive on defense. He gets a lot of steals, but sometimes opens himself up for some calls. Here's Ackerman down the lane. Now we'll kick it outside to Klauban. Weiler. Couple dribbles, leaves it for Ackerman. Ackerman hangs, misses that shot. Wendler fighting for the rebound, and it's snatched out of there by Konieczny. Konieczny doing a nice job on the glass here tonight. And somebody's got to, as the Blackhawks will attack it. Charlie Moore, 3, no good. Rebound. Cole Noreen, reload for the Dons outside Olson. Back to Charlie Moore. Konieczny, guarded by Hansen. Looks like man defense by the Blackhawks. Konieczny will drive down the lane, and he gets held by Hansen. Good call that time by the ref, as Konieczny went on the drive, and Hansen grabbed him by the arm that time. 17-12, 5-point lead for the Dons here in the first half. Charlie Moore will take a seat. Sam Neville checks into the ballgame. Amacher back out there, Weaver back out there, and Klaban and Ackerman will take seats for the Blackhawks. Again, if you're just joining us here tonight, Blackhawks, a matchup problem for Columbus. First time they met, gave Columbus everything they could handle as Konechny loads up on a three-pointer from the left corner and nails it. Konechny's got 8. Good signs for Emmett Konechny. Here comes Weiler. Ball stopped by Jacoby. Outside, Wendler will heave up a three-pointer. That's way too strong, and up high for the rebound is Grant Olson. Now Olson into the front court. Outside, quick pass to Jacoby. Konechny left open. Count it. Left wing 3, and Emmett Konechny is feeling it. Ka-ching from the left wing for Emmett Konechny. Quick timeout for Coach Russ Weiler and the Blackhawks. They're down by 11, 23-12. Back to Marshall Columbus after this on Zaleski Sports. All right, some technical difficulties, so we'll keep it right here. Columbus opening up an 11-point lead. And Emmett Konechny on fire from outside. He's got 3 three-pointers and has 11 points here in the early going, kind of carrying the load for Columbus and also carrying the load on the glass as he's been clearing the glass with regularity. And the Dons out to an 11-point lead, 23-12, 7:49 left to go here in the first half here on Zaleski Sports. Broadcast brought to us by Fleet Farm. Fleet Farm's hiring event going on now. All locations are looking to hire, get competitive pay, flexible scheduling, and a 20% discount for you and your immediate family. Apply online today. Fleet Farm, proudly serving the Midwest since 1955. And Owen-Withee and Columbus girls doing battle at this hour up in Owen-Withee, so we'll keep an eye on that ball game. Owen-Withee has a 9-8 lead in the first half as Olsen near steal. Weaver comes away with it now. Owen-Withee should have numbers. Wendler gives it back to Weaver. Good job of Olsen, getting back in the play. Otherwise, there was a bit of a power play that time for the Blackhawks. Here's Weaver, way outside to Hansen. They lob it down to Amacher. Tough catch for Amacher, and he'll throw it out of bounds. Sammy Neville will trigger in the backcourt for Columbus. The Owen-Withee girls program, they've had a couple, it was a travel, good call. Sammy Neville did move that pivot foot that time after he caught the ball. Klaban coming off the bench, and he'll check in for Weiler. The Blackhawks girls basketball team kind of having a couple rough years after they were a perennial state-bound team for Coach Al Goodman for many years. Last couple of years have been a struggle, but I think they have righted the ship, and I think in a couple of years you're going to see Owen-Withee is going to be back to prominence on the girls basketball side of things. They have some really nice freshmen coming up. Here's Olsen. Oh, I think that pass was blocked right back to Olsen. He got it, went up for the shot, and was fouled, so he'll go to the free throw line to shoot 2. That's going to be team foul number 3 on the Blackhawks. Foul on Carter Klaban, and that is his first personal foul. So Grant Olsen at the Serve Pro Jamie Wenzel free throw line. Call Jamie Wenzel at Serve Pro for the number 1 choice in cleanup and restoration. Serve Pro like it never happened. Grant Olsen's first free throw up and no good. Second free throw is up and pure. So Olsen's got 3 points, and the lead is 12. Here's Klaban. Hits Hansen. Blackhawks got to get some more urgency across the timeline. There they go to Amacher. Now they got to run their offense. If you're the Blackhawks, just get some shots up and then go to work on the glass. There's a shot, and there's an offensive rebound. Klaban missed that shot. Offensive rebound came down to Hansen, who missed the shot. I think we got a foul away from the ball, and that's going to be a foul on Olsen. So Hansen at the free throw line, shooting a pair. So Blackhawks down by 12, 24-12. First free throw is up and good for Hansen. So Hansen off the bench is 2 for 3 from the free throw line. Second free throw is up and good for Hansen. So Hansen 3 for 4 so far, and the lead is down to 10. Sammy Neville in the backcourt. Crosses the timeline on a bounce to Noreen outside Olsen. Jacoby. See if they can run something for Konechny, because he's had the hot hand and he's been feeling it. Konechny's a little bit taller for a guard, too, and he can get his shot up from outside. Here's Jacoby, three-pointer on the way, in and out. And there's Amacher ripping down the rebound. Klaban, guarded by Jacoby. Looks like man defense by the Dons as Noreen comes out and hounds Weaver. They swing it around to Hansen. Neville with a nice closeout. Klaban outside Weaver, three-pointer, catch and shoot, short. Rebound fought for, there's Noreen. Up ahead, Sammy Neville. Leaves it outside Konechny. Thinks about the three, nice fake. Outside Noreen, good unselfish play by Konechny. Noreen can't cash in, another offensive board for Jacoby. Noreen working in the lane outside Sammy Neville, three. Right of center, no good. Rebound fought for, and Amacher grabs that one. 5:29 left to go. The lead's 10. If you're Coach Russ Weiler, you definitely want to get this lead into single digits before halftime. We'll get a little bit of momentum going for the second half. Near steal by Sammy Neville, knocking it away from Klaban. There's a ball going off the head of Hansen, but he recovers. And they have nothing going at the basket right now. Klaban trying to cross up Jacoby, and that trick never works against Jacoby. Jacoby knocks it out of bounds. Thankful that's not a turnover if you're a Blackhawks fan. Sammy Neville will take a seat. Kreklau back on the floor for the Dons. Got this game here tonight, but all eyes are going to be on Columbus and Yulesville. That is February 7th. I think that's, next Monday? We're going to have it for you here on Zaleski Sports. And, yep, next Monday. That's going to be a great game as Yulesville undefeated in the conference right now, and Columbus on the outside looking in, but not by much. Columbus Catholic 7-1, Yulesville 9-0 on the season. Ackerman set to trigger. Hands it to Klaban. Klaban working against Noreen. Outside, Ackerman. 4 minutes and 43 seconds left to go. High post Weaver, turnaround jump shot, in and out. And there is Amacher going over the back of Grant Olsen. So great position by Grant Olsen, and Amacher had to climb the back. And that's going to be team foul number 4. Quick timeout, 30-second timeout. Andy, can we take a timeout? We'll take a quick timeout. Be back to Marshall Columbus right after this on Zaleski Sports. Back to Marshall Columbus. 4:38 left to go in the first half. 24-14, 10-point lead for Marshall Columbus.
We got ourselves a winner. Hopefully you can drop it and make $2,500 tonight. Run us all donuts.
Forward bank here tonight. We've got the half-court shot for $2,500. Columbus working against this pressure, full court. Have had zero problems breaking it so far tonight. Konechny, top of the key, hounded by Amacher. Konechny down the lane, outside Wilczek, just right of center, and that's good. Nice inside out. Konechny to Wilczek, and Wilczek drains in another three. He's got 8 points. Here's Ackerman down the lane, gets the contact that time by Wilczek, and that's going to be the third personal on Wilczek. So Sam Wilczek looking at some major pine time here in the first half. Got Sammy Neville and Charlie Moore getting set to check in for the Dons. Free throw up for Ackerman and no good. Wilczek will take a seat with those 3 personal fouls. Charlie Moore onto the floor. So Ackerman has 3 on the night. Missed his first free throw. Second free throw is up. And that's a little too strong. Olsen keeping the Hawks off the boards. Olsen and Konechny really rebounding well here tonight for the Dons. Here's Moore. Outside Noreen between the circles. They whip it around to Olsen. Olsen will drive with the left hand. Inside out. Konechny extra pass. Charlie Moore. Three-pointer on the way. Three more for Charlie Moore. On the feed by Konechny, and there is Kreklau with the shoulder block on Weaver. The lead has ballooned to 16 with 3:49 left to go. So Owen-Withee is in the bonus. Weaver will be at the line to shoot the bonus free throws. Team foul number 8 on Columbus. First free throw for Weaver is up and rolls around and good. Weaver 3 for 3 from the free throw line so far tonight. Tyler Weaver, a 6-foot senior for the Blackhawks. That one was short. Rebound comes down to Moore. 15-point lead for the Dons. Noreen, high post Konechny. Turns, kicks it outside to Moore, and that goes off his hands and out of bounds. Pass a little too strong that time for Jacoby, and the Dons will play some full court pressure now on the Blackhawks. And right away pays dividends with a steal. Charlie Moore left open for three. Count it. Charlie Moore from downtown. Blackhawks struggled with the pressure when I saw him play against Nilsson. Let's see how they do here tonight as Amacher goes on a drive, hangs and finishes. Not much you can do there as Logan Amacher had a head of steam. Here's Charlie Moore. Surveying. Konechny will come to the ball between the circles. Grant Olsen guarded by Klaban. Kreklau back to Olsen. 2:55 left to go. The lead is 14. Very patient set here for Columbus. And why not? With 2:42 left on the clock. Blackhawks not coming out and playing tight man pressure. Here's Olsen driving with the right hand, hangs and finishes. Grant Olsen. Back to work on the defensive side are the Dons, and Klaban takes matters into his own hands, crosses the timeline. We're going to get an offensive foul, so wipe that shot away by Amacher. Not sure who picked that one up or who drew that foul. It was, I think, either Moore or Noreen that time stepping in, taking the foul, and that's 3 on Amacher, so he'll have to go to the bench. So Amacher and Wilczek, the two leading scorers respectively for their two teams, on the bench with 3 personal fouls here in the first half. So we take a look up Highway 13 and down Highway 29. Columbus on top of Owen-Withee in that girls game, 17-14, so it's a close battle there in the first half. 3-point lead for the Dons. Here's Konechny, three-pointer, that one's short. Rebound chased down by Hansen, and Klaban will go back to work for the Blackhawks. The lead is 18 now. Blackhawks need a bucket or 2 before halftime. Klaban outside to Weaver. They just don't have anything going at the basket right now against these Dons. Dons are playing a 2-3, it looks like. Here comes Klaban outside to Weiler, who's on the floor for Amacher with those 3 personal fouls. Ackerman can't run your offense from half court. Got to get something going at the basket. Hitting the high post. There's the high post, and Weiler on a bounce outside to Klaban. Shot, that's way off the mark to the left. Rebound comes down to Noreen, who falls down, picks up the ball, and gives it to Konechny. 1:18 left to go. 18-point lead for the Dons. They've controlled this one tonight. Kreklau outside to Moore. To Konechny. Finding Kreklau. Outside Noreen, Charlie Moore. Thinks about the 3. Good closeout by Weiler. On a skip outside, Noreen left wide open from the left wing, and that's good for Cole Noreen. Noreen's got 5. Here's Klaban. Outside to Ackerman. Skip to Weaver, and Weaver's tied up by Olsen. They're going to get Olsen for a reach that time. And that will put Weaver back at the free throw line to shoot the bonus free throws. Second personal foul on Grant Olson. Sammy Neville will check in. Olson will check out. So 40.3 seconds left to go here in the first half. Don's up 38-17. Weaver at the free throw line trying to get this back under 20. And that free throw is up and short. Offensive rebound comes to Klaban. Weaver, 16-footer. Came off the hand funny. Krecklau, big board that time, leaves it for Noreen. Almost loses it out of bounds. Here's Charlie Moore with 29 seconds. Up ahead to Konechny. Konechny's had the hot hand here tonight with 3 3-pointers. Charlie Moore outside Noreen. Here's Konechny between the circles with 15. Don's content to hold for one shot. Sammy Neville didn't get the memo, but he'll get the shot. A little runner that time with the right hand for Sammy Neville. A little tweener, and Sammy Neville's got his first bucket. 5 seconds. Klaban, long three on the way, is off the mark, no good. Rebound, ooh. Weiler had the offensive board, and I think that would have counted if he would have made it. Instead, going to halftime. The Dons up on the Blackhawks 40-17. We'll come back and take a look at first half stats right after this on Zaleski Sports.
Of a Catholic education at Columbus Catholic Schools.
I think everyone should just know what makes this place special.
Come and see. That's just what the Lord always said, and put your toe in the water. They are great schools, and it's a good fit. I'd always want them to come and to just to feel the goodness and the family atmosphere.
I invite everyone just to come in and see what it's about and to see if it might be right for them and their family.
We invite you to schedule a tour today. Witness the difference of a Catholic education at Columbus Catholic Schools.
We've got a new computer here tonight, and some of the commercials not wanting to play, so hopefully we'll get a chance to do that. Andy, why don't you leave the camera on half court down here? We've got the Forward Financial half court shot for $2,500, and all we know is this guy's first name is Michael. He gets 2 shots. The first one was dreadfully short. Let's see if he can cash in for $2,500 on the second one. That one's just off the mark. Hey, but nice try. You know, you win some, you lose some. Nobody's entitled to $2,500. That's kind of fun. Forward Bank. They do that periodically. They kind of travel around doing that. I think they've actually had some people win that $2,500 check. Let's take a look at the first half stats. Start with Columbus. They're led in scoring by Emmett Konechny. The sophomore had 11 points in the first half. Sam Wilczek had 8 points. Grant Olson had 5 points. Charlie Moore had 6. Blake Jacoby had 3. Cole Noreen had 5. And Sammy Neville had 2 to round out the scoring for the Columbus Dons. Meanwhile, for the Owen-Withee Blackhawks, they were led in scoring in the first half by Logan Amacher, who had 6 points. Elliot Ackerman had 3 points. Tyler Weaver had 5. Gage Hansen had 3 points. Yep, at halftime of the girls' game, by the way, the Dons up by 6 over Owen-Withee, 22-16. So a little Dons Blackhawks action up north and down here in Marshfield as well. We actually have a special treat coming up in the second half. We're going to be joined by Bob Cook, who, if you follow Dons Athletics, kind of rewrote the record books for the Columbus Dons. And we'll have Bob Cook stop up here and kind of talk to us a little bit about his career with Columbus, and he went on to play for San Diego. And talking to him before the game, he graduated in 1966. So interested to see how he feels the game has changed over the years. And obviously one of the huge changes in regard to Columbus is Columbus used to play in a conference that was all private schools, and they would travel quite a distance to play some of those schools, and that conference no longer exists. Of course, back in 1999, the WISA conference, or the WISA division, was disbanded. That was kind of the conference that was made up in the state of Wisconsin of all the private schools. In 1999, they kind of joined forces with the WIAA. So, yeah, kind of interesting. We'll talk to Bob about that coming up in just a few minutes. Once again, your halftime score is 40-17. The Dons on top of the Owen-Withee Blackhawks by 23 here at halftime.
Does. One of our 17 mobile service trucks from Sherrill Tire and Service Center can get you rolling again. Sherrill Tire and Service Center is your locally owned commercial and farm tire specialist. Find us at SherrillTire.com. When the last thing you need to happen.
All right, we're at halftime. Having some technical difficulties with the computer, so it's a great time to bring Bob Cook up here to talk to us. It's Cook, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Andy, why don't you swing the camera over here? We'll talk to Bob just for a few minutes. And Bob, kind of a cool thing here tonight. You graduated in 1966. Part of the program, they had a nice little write-up on kind of your accomplishments, and quite a story. So tell me a little bit about your life as a Columbus Don and then what you did after that.
Basically, I'll start with probably a great grade school coach in Del Conity. I mean, I really didn't get into athletics till about 6th grade, to be honest with you. Yeah. It's not like today. And he spent a lot of time, fundamentals. In grade school, I played under the basket. But in high school, the first 2 years, I actually played at guard and then went under the basket. And so the guard skills helped me quite a bit the last 2 years, you know, in terms of ball handling, open court stuff and that. So, and then Walt Crow was a big inspiration, just always positive. And Coach Olson was outstanding coach. I think he understood the type of team we had, what we had to do. And I think basically, if I had to go back, it was like 3/4 team, 4th quarter, if I could take over, that's what he expected, you know, type of ball. But it was good football. I had great team players. I mean, Lloyd Huffman was there, and Tom Knopf, and just a lot of good players when we were in football. And basketball, it just was a lot of guts. You know, a lot of kids that just didn't get a lot of the time, you know, on in the paper and stuff like that. But and without them, it wouldn't have happened, I can tell you.
And we were kind of talking before the game, you know, my uncles played for Neillsville back in that same era, and they had a very good team, public school team. Yeah. And at that time, you guys didn't play very much with the public schools.
No.
But, you know, I remember some legendary stories. My grandpa used to teach the kids how to play, and kind of the dirty tricks he used to pull down the post, like, you know, might pull somebody's shorts down just a little bit or pinch them to get that sort of thing isn't taught quite as much, but the game has changed quite a bit over the years.
Right. You know, there were some things. Footwork is missing. I'm not going to be critical, but just watching here a little bit, I think the inside footwork by players is a lost cause, and it's probably because the three-point game has taken over. So you don't see the drop step is good. You don't see kids playing what I would say wide first to get the ball to you, and then tall.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're tall all the time, you're like a tree. It's easier to guard. So I see a few of those things, but the game has changed some of that stuff, and so, you know, you have to go with the flow a little bit. But if you want to be a good inside player, I think you got to play wide. You got to set yourself up. Got a lot of kids here tonight running to their spots. where I would say don't go to your spot right away, mislead your defensive player. He'll have to turn the back on the ball, stuff like that,
Yeah, you bring up an interesting point because when you played, there was no three-point line.
Right.
So, I'm looking here, you averaged over 25 points a game one year.
Yeah.
And kids today might say, how did he do that without the three-point shot? So
Right.
what was your game? Was it a lot of going to the basket? Was it a lot of jump shooting from, mid-range?
It's not a statistic in there, but it's a lot of rebounding.
Sure.
I think that Coach Olson, going into my junior year, talked to me about knowing my own teammates better than I know them. They know themselves. And so he did a good job of emphasizing to those kids, take the shot when they had the shot, which then allowed me to get a half step to the rebound.
Sure.
And then a lot of my points came off of offensive rebounds, which led to a three-point shot because you go to the free throw line.
Yep.
And that. So it was a combination of smart coaching and the teammates taking the shots when they should take them.
Yeah.
And
so when you were playing in your era, were you said you played guard most of the time?
I guarded the first 2 years I played because that's when my brother was playing and Mike Dumas played at that time and some other kids and the Great House brothers were there. So when I came in as a freshman and sophomore, which helped me because you've got a phase of ball handling.
Yeah. And finally, we're about ready to go to the second half, so we'll get the the game broadcast going here in a little bit. But you had a chance to talk to the kids before the game. So what was your message to the kids?
I talked to them about two things. I talked to them about opportunity. I said to them that that with the end of the season coming, that every game is a new opportunity to be a better player and to be a better team. And that when opportunity presents itself, that they should take it. And the second thing I talked to them about is an X factor, finding something outside yourself, outside your team, that lifts you in a critical moment to make the big play.
Something that motivates you.
Motivates you.
What motivated you?
I talked to him, and my motivation, if you got me 2 seconds here, was my grandpa. My grandpa never saw me play.
Interesting.
He was on a block away, and the reason was he was legally blind at that time.
Really? Okay.
And so he sat down and listened to the radio in every game, and so I knew he was listening, and I just couldn't let him down. He was that X factor for me.
Yeah, and Andy, you keep the camera on the game. Just going to talk to Bob a little bit. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So my grandpa was an inspiration for me too, and I never will forget. I was 12 years old. I didn't know how to shoot. I was shooting two-handed, and he took me out in the driveway, and he made me shoot until I had it right, until I was bawling. And I was so mad at him, but I was so happy that he did it. A couple years down the road. So you have those inspirations.
Right. The thing that Coach Olson taught me is you see a lot of kids following through like this, with one finger.
Yeah.
He taught me to follow through with two, one finger on each side of the basket.
Okay.
Give much more control.
Sure.
Release point. And so that helped, I think, for a percentage. I think for my high school career, I shot 55% for my entire career.
Oh, wow, that's great shooting percentage.
Yeah.
And
but again, it was inside, a lot of shots inside.
Yeah.
But, those were good points because when you're getting pounded and hit and knocked on, the longer you can keep those two fingers on the ball, you have better control the last second.
So, kids today, their inspirations are, Steph Curry.
Yeah, right.
And those kind of players, as Konechny knocks down a three-pointer, he's got a nice stroke, doesn't he?
He has a real good stroke. He has what I call an up-out follow-through rather than some kids who push more.
Yeah.
He's got the up and then,
get a little more spin, a little bit more arc on the shot, too.
By doing that, you control the ball just a hair longer, too.
Yep.
So...
Yeah, but Steph Curry is a big inspiration for kids these days, and they look at the analytics and three-pointers make sense, and they're shooting a lot of three-pointers. When I was growing up, Michael Jordan was my inspiration. Right. He was a mid-range guy. He would
That's
get you.
Missing in high school basketball.
Mid-range is going away.
Yep, you're right.
When you were playing in your era, who were some of the people that you looked up to?
Players?
Yeah, players.
I can't even name any now anymore. Well, there were some inside players like at Ohio State that time I was playing. I can't remember their names.
Yep.
I'm more apt to remember a football. Like my idol in football as a running back was Gale Sayers.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the style. Long stride, quick moves, good balance.
A lot of people say he was really underrated,
Well, he never got to finish. He only played about 5 years. But if you ever watched his films in that, he was able to really, He was able to, go full speed, stop in a dime in the same direction, and yet he had a long stride, which is not typical of a player.
Right.
you know.
So your career got done here at Columbus, and you went on to play at South Dakota. And I made the mistake of saying North Dakota before, and man, did I get a earful on that. So, what was your career like out in South Dakota?
Well, I only got to play 1 year because I got out there and tore my knee up. It had medial lateral ligament, ACL. So it took 18 months before I played. And then I got to play that year and did well. I had 16 touchdowns and all conference and all that kind of stuff. But the knee didn't last. The next year it went out again and that. And so I changed my senior year over to baseball, where I led the team in all offensive categories in baseball.
Okay.
And that, so it was like two sports. I feel good about what I did. I wish I could have played longer, but I knew I was going to want to be a coach someday, you know, and stuff like that. So I wanted, you know, to have some legs under me, because I'm kind of a hands-on type person.
Sure.
And as coaching, if I can demonstrate, I can do a better job than just verbally telling kids how to do it.
Absolutely. And, you know, we're talking before the game, you played basketball until about 50, 55, you said.
Yes, right. I was still playing in the gym and doing stuff like that. I was actually still coaching at that time, freshman girls basketball, and they had the Tomahawk.
Sure.
And I moved up there. So, but, yeah, I played basketball. I played softball till that time, too.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff.
And that's one of the things we've kind of mentioned, you know, during our broadcast. It's kind of a shame to see some of these schools in this area now struggling with numbers for sports.
Yeah.
And kids don't realize, like you talked about opportunities.
Right.
This is like your one opportunity, unless you're a great player like you were in school. You're in high school, and that's it. I mean, you get one chance. You might play rec league somewhere.
Yeah.
But, you know, take advantage of the opportunity to play.
Right. That's what I emphasize, and not only here, but, you know, in other situations, classroom situations, work situations, helping out when you can in a community, you know, and when you look back, those are what people are going to really remember you for, what you did.
Yeah.
You know, what athletics taught you to do, you know, led you to do, you know, type thing. So, yeah, so, you know, that's what I kind of emphasize there. And, you know, when you're younger, that's hard to visualize, but all these kids are going to know that.
Right. Going back to when you were playing again, Columbus was part of the WIAA, you know, which was all private schools, and now they play against all the public schools as well.
Right.
And what do you think of those changes that have happened over the years?
I think the competitiveness was different. When you played against the WIAA, it was a WIAA conference. It was more competitive. Here, you hear some grumbling about the Catholic schools or the private schools competing with the public schools, and it isn't fair and all that kind of stuff. But I think the talent's there, you know what I mean? I think that the numbers in the private schools have dropped so much that they almost had to make that move, you know, to do things. But if you look at it, and the coaching's right, and the schools are right, and the WIAA approaches it right, it's a good move.
Yeah.
You know, it's always something and somebody that sometimes goofs it up. But
yeah, and you know, one of the things, you know, I hear about every once in a while, you hear a team, like a football team, that might be co-oping with another school, and they don't want to move up a division because they might have to play, you know, whoever.
Yeah.
But I always say, be careful what you wish for, because there were years where Edgar, for instance, I don't care what division you were in, you wouldn't want to play Edgar.
No.
You know, you wouldn't want to come down from Division I to play him even.
Right.
So, you know.
Well, late in the years of Columbus and Wall Cole, they did play outside for football, because I remember going up and watching Columbus go up there, a smaller school, play Rhinelander, and, you know, pretty much dominated the game, you know, and that's when, at the very end of the WIAA, some of the private schools were going outside of WIAA to play public schools.
Yeah.
You know, and it's different. But I don't know if you can say that kids have a different mentality when they go to a private school. I don't think that. I think that kids come from families. I think that it all starts at home. What home life do they have? What drive do they have? What support do they have? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that when you want to look at athletics, you have to look at athletics from the sense of you know, it starts at home. Don't ever tell yourself that it doesn't start somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And, you know, I'm on a school board, and that's one of the things educators will tell you. There's a kid that has a nice stroke. Charlie Moore
I'm watching it.
Really, really good at he prepares before he catches the ball.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't take him long to get the shot off.
Well, one of the things I saw with him is that his arm release is always the same speed.
Yep.
You know, it's not rushed, it's not anything. And that's another thing I noticed here, too. Some of the inside players are so concerned that their shot is going to get blocked they actually take a poor shot. They should take the shot. If it gets blocked, it gets blocked. The odds are, when you take a poor shot, you don't force the official to make a call.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep, and speaking of calls, that's a foul on Amacher. That's going to be his fourth personal.
Right.
So, you kind of, there's different ways you can play against a team like this. In Columbus, you've been following them, I know.
Yeah, right.
They're not the tallest team.
No.
They're playing a team with some length. And one of the things you can do is you can go after a player like Amacher who's long inside and try to get him in foul trouble.
Well, you're quick. I've always said in football and basketball, I still have a sense that in high school, quickness can beat size.
Sure.
Whether it's a bigger lineman, whether it's a taller kid. It all depends how you use that quickness.
Yep.
In that.
Great example of that is Blake Jacoby, who, as a sophomore, he's maybe 5'7", 5'8",
right.
and he is an excellent rebounder because he uses that quickness to get to where he needs to be.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I saw too is a little more when you're a smaller team. Columbus does a good job of getting a body on a bigger player.
Sure.
Which makes a difference, rather than not trying to out-jump them just.
Yeah. Yep.
You got to get body on player to know where they are, and then that forces that player, if he's not real quick, to make the mistake of fouling.
So when you played, did you guys play any zone, or was it all man-to-man?
Well, we actually played most of the time we played a man, but against certain teams like Regis and Pacelli that had some big kids, we played some 1-3-1 zone.
Sure.
I don't remember playing too much 2-3. 1-3-1 we played, because I kind of centered myself in the middle and that middle man.
Sure.
And then,
on top, or were you the middle man?
Middle man in the
lane.
Right on the free throw line. On
sure.
That big, because that's where most of the kids at that time, because without the three, their biggest player was always in that position.
Yep.
Here they move these kids around so much, I'm not sure that some of these big kids ever get to develop as good as they should.
Well, that's one thing I heard Coach Konieczny say in an interview last week, which I really like, is up until their kids get into high school, all of them are guards because you have to learn ball handling. You have to learn to a certain degree. You have to learn how to shoot from the outside.
Right.
You have to learn how to play.
Right.
And
everybody
starts as a guard.
But I think when you play that too, let's go to the other side of the ball, defense.
Yep.
What you see here tonight, defense.
Yeah.
I think that's the key. If you're playing guard, you're more apt to be a defensive player, and you learn not to be a reacher because you learn to move your feet.
Yeah.
So I think by starting playing defense is a key, to most athletics.
Yep.
Teams that have good defensive teams. What do they say? Offense wins championships?
No. No.
Yeah.
It's the opposite.
It's
the opposite.
Wins the championships. Yeah.
And defense, frankly, defense is, that's when you grab your lunch pail. That's the hard work.
Yep. Little reward, you might say.
You might say that. But coaches will notice.
Right.
Coaches notice when you're playing good defense. And
Coach
Konieczny has some players that don't care about any of the accolades. And I've watched him this year. And, there are kids that will just come out and give it 110%. They don't care if they score or don't score. So.
Well, that's what I talked to. I said, one of the things, I'll point this out. I just said to the kids tonight, in this game tonight, every kid will have an opportunity to add to the outcome of this game.
Yep.
And I didn't mention points or anything.
Right.
It's what you do best. Some kids are just good defensive players. Some kids are just good rebounders. You know what I mean? But you will have an opportunity to take your skill and add to the outcome of the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You see a lot of times when, as there's a foul by the Owen-Withee Blackhawks player, but you see a lot of times when kids are struggling shooting, they just keep reloading. And I always thought, if you're struggling shooting, a great way to get back in the swing of things is to hit the offensive glass, do some of the dirty work, and start contributing that way and work your...
Right. Find an easy bucket.
Find an easy bucket, absolutely.
Yeah.
It will come. It will come.
Right.
You just have to... got to work in the flow of the game.
Right.
So.
Those are all good points, and I'm impressed. Walt Crow was a great coach here at this school, and I think Coach K is right up there with him.
Well, he's got a great program. He starts him off young. Like you were talking about, you didn't start. There's Charlie Moore again. I call him Charlie Buckets, and Charlie Buckets just drained another three-pointer, so he's up to 12 points on the night.
Right.
But they are starting him really young, and as a parent, I kind of struggle with that. How young is too young, and how much basketball is too much basketball at a young age. And more you see the bigger schools, they want their kids to specialize in one sport. And I don't know that's the best thing for kids.
in a bigger school, that might be if you've got 2,000 kids, 1,200 kids in that, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Because the other school's doing it. But in these smaller schools, some of these kids have to double up in sports.
Yeah.
You know, but I always felt like track was the heart of my sport. It conditioned me, it made me quicker, jumper, long jumper. Then, you know, basketball, that contributed to the inside game in basketball. You know, it conditioned in track made me a better football player. So I think that if you look at it, one sport can help another sport.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the studies are showing more and more that the kids that play multiple sports are less prone to injury because you work different muscle groups and that sort of thing.
Well, you're more in shape all the time.
Yeah.
You know, when this getting in and out of shape is not always the best thing.
It absolutely is not.
You know. And the other thing I think you have to worry about a little bit too is how much weight you put into kids early in life. You know, you can get kids to be a little bulky, which then takes away their agility and mobility, and that adds to injury too.
Yeah.
You know, weights are important, but they have to be over a period of time. You know, they can't be something, let's buck everybody up, you know, and so we have a big lineman. You know, maybe 10 pounds less and quicker is better.
Yeah, and it'll tell you what, it's better for your joints in the long run too.
Right. Yeah. You're not carrying that weight.
I graduated high school at 138 pounds. And my whole high school career, I was thinking, man, I'd like to gain some weight. I'd like to gain some weight.
Yeah.
And then once you finally gain the weight, you're like, I'd like to lose some weight. I felt so much better when I was thin. I might have been self-conscious about it and that sort of thing, but
I was probably not a big inside player in basketball, but I was considered a big back.
Okay.
At 200 pounds.
At 200 pounds back in the day.
You know, and I ran a pretty good 100, you know, so I had a lot of speed. But, yeah, but I never lifted weights so much because I worked for Hub City and doing warehouse work.
Hub City Foods?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
You know, and so we were in the warehouse and in the train cars and lifting sugar and, you know, so, you know, just like the Edgar kids. I'm sure they get a lot of their size and weight farm boys.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
You know, there's certain things to certain cultures that help you through that stuff.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Yep. Farm strong is something you hear an awful lot around here, and it's absolutely true.
Right.
Konechny, really nice body control there by Emmett.
Yeah.
Protected the ball, and
I'm impressed with him.
Yep.
You know, I see a few things that I think that earlier in the game when he was in the lane, I don't want to say, I think he should have took a couple shots and drawn some fouls.
Yeah.
You know, and put the team there, put the other team already in the position where they had to lay off or they had to be concerned. Because he has the ability to create a foul, to make a foul. Sometimes a foul is worth 2 buckets.
Yeah. And the one thing I've seen with Emmett this year, especially, is he's become so unselfish, and you can become unselfish to a point.
A couple of them went out of bounds. I saw that. But you know what? You're better doing that because even if they go out of bounds, your team sees you as you're trying to do that.
Absolutely.
So, you know, a negative can be a positive even in a situation like that. So,
absolutely.
Well,
Bob, I really appreciate you talking to us tonight, and thanks for coming back and watching. Who knows? Columbus, you know, we've been looking at the kind of the playoff pairings and picture, and you know they have a chance to make a run here depending on how their sectional shapes out. But I know Jason Zaleski, who kind of runs our network, kind of has them penciled in to play against Wausau Newman in a sectional, either semifinal or final. So could be very, very interesting.
Just being back to the old conference then.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, you know, when you get to there, all those things are important, but a little bit of that becomes luck too.
Yeah.
You know, when you get down to that level, that's where, you know, one certain opportunity that we talked about could be the difference in the game.
Yep.
And that. So hopefully that, I think the kids took it to heart. Whatever I said tonight must have worked. Cause
You're taking responsibility for the win.
Not the loss, but a win.
Wendler knocks down a 3. Wendler's sister actually is playing Division I girls women's basketball.
Where's she at?
Youngstown State.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, she was a great high school player, very good post player.
Yeah.
But she's kind of run into a situation down there where, because of COVID, the player that she was behind got an extra year. So, you know, she was hoping to get some playing time, but, you know, the player that is kind of their star player is still there.
Yeah. So
there's Wendler with another bucket. Nice footwork on that one.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's, you know, I want to see these kids get opportunities.
Yeah.
I mean, even though that was a miss, that's the type of thing you want to do.
Absolutely, take it to the
next
basket.
Game you may make it when it's a 2-point game.
Yep. Well, if you're ever at home watching these games, Olsen, number 15, is he's kind of unassuming, but he is a great slasher. He can take the ball to the rim.
Yeah.
There's a nice block by Noreen, getting Weaver from behind.
Yeah.
So kind of bring you back up to speed. 7:39 left to go in this ball game, and the Dons, it's kind of where it was at halftime. They're up by 22 right now, 59-37.
Yeah.
And we've got some wholesale substitutions. Cole Timler on the floor for the Dons. Out there with Sammy Neville, Sam Wilczek, Grant Olson inbounds to Wendler. Wendler shot off the mark. Like to see him go glass that time from about 7 feet. Here's Wilczek. Right corner, nice lead for Sammy Neville. Just left that one a little bit short. Kind of fell away from that one.
That was a situation where I said, take a good shot. If it's blocked, it's blocked. He rushed.
Yep. Take it to the basket. You know, typically, you're going to make the shot or get fouled.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
if you get blocked, so be it.
Right.
Here's Amacher working inside. Tough to stop that. Olsen took one of the chops, I think, that time as Amacher. Amacher putting together a nice half. As I'm talking to you, I think he's got 8 points in the half, 14 on the game. Wilczek, nice drive with the left hand outside Konechny. Left corner three, that's left short, and Amacher gets the rebound.
It's a good time right now to take a pause and eat up a little bit of clock right now because they're getting a little momentum.
Yeah, here's Hansen talking about momentum.
Yeah. So, you just eat up a minute or two right here and let Owen-Withee have to play some tough defense. Move the ball around.
Yeah.
See where.
Shot outside for Neville is no good.
That's out the back.
Yep, that's going to be out of bounds off of Ackerman that time.
But it make them play some defense and get their mind off of offense.
Sure.
Right now. Again, here I am coaching again.
You can't stop. You can't stop. I get it.
Yeah, so.
But, 6:35 left to go. Game, in hand for Columbus, and good chance for Columbus to work on some things.
Right.
So Cole Timler, number 10 out there, he's a really good baseball player. Oh, between the legs to Kreklau. Konechny trying to find Kreklau down in the post, goes off of Kreklau's hands and out of bounds. He actually threw it through the defender's legs that time.
Right.
That was Amacher. He got himself off the ground, didn't quite know where to go with it. There was Konechny. He took it right to the rack that time. Give him credit as Amacher was in pursuit. But Amacher with those 4 personal fouls, good decision by Konechny to try to force the issue. Here's Ackerman.
Right.
They swing it outside to Hansen between the circles. To Amacher.
Right.
Step inside the 3-point line. Back to Hansen between the circles to Ackerman. Klaban is having a nice half for Owen-Withee as well. As we've been talking, he's putting together a pretty nice half. Amacher spins and hangs. Shot rolls around and good. Good touch that time by Amacher.
Yeah, they got to just be careful right here.
Here's Wilczek. Thinks about the 3. Nice find for Kreklau. Kreklau got it to go. Oh, they're going to get Wilczek on the offensive foul. It looks like Ackerman stepped in and took that one. More substitutions as Wilczek and Timler will take a seat. Blake Jacoby back out there. Cole Noreen back out there.
I think the next 2 minutes are key.
Yep. The lead kind of down to 16, so Owen-Withee making a little bit of progress.
Right. Forced them here to eat up. I was out to South Dakota. My wife's from there, and so I was out to the U and visit the Dome and the things that they've increased there. But they have the shot clock in their school.
Yep.
And that makes a big difference.
I'm not sure if you know this, but the WIAA has actually voted they want the shot clock here at the high school level. That was a nice play by Klaban, who was just tearing the Dons up inside, and he goes to the line after making that bucket.
Yeah.
So, the WIAA wants to put that in place for high school. In fact, I think there was, I think the Board of Control might have voted on it and voted in favor of it. I think there's some political stuff happening there because, one thing that it does require, it's going to require more help, and it's going to require more equipment.
Yeah.
But, I once saw a tournament. Klaban made that a 3-point play.
Yeah.
I once saw a tournament in Stevens Point where a school from Milwaukee came out and scored the first bucket of the game.
Yeah, and held it.
And held it for the entire first half. The other team was playing a zone, and they just held it at half court.
Yeah.
And you do start to wonder what kids are learning when you do something like that.
Right. But I think, you have to consider, too, if some of these kids are talented enough to move to the next level, even at the Division III level, you have to consider the fact, are you preparing them for that mental approach? Can you handle the ball to 20 seconds and then run a play to score?
Sure.
Are you getting those kids ready, or are they going to be a handicap when they're freshman year in college, too?
Yeah.
So you got to look at both sides of the situation and that. So, I think what happens is you got to be careful when you get a big lead to think you can bury a team. I think you still got to stay within your game plan. You got to make the extra pass. You got to pull it out when you don't have the sure thing. You know. And Columbus is quite young.
Very young. Yeah, their sophomore class is phenomenal. Their sophomore class is going to cause a lot of problems here in the next couple of years for teams.
But I look at it and they're still learning.
Sure.
That's something about nobody becomes perfect right away. So those are good things to look forward to. But that was another point. Every game you have a chance to become a better ball player. If you want to use it.
That's right. I'll tell you what, I'm going to do some play-by-play. You can, if you don't mind, do the color. As Jacoby drives, picked up by Ackerman, almost loses his footing. Here's Noreen. The free throw line leaves it outside to Charlie Moore. Now Emmett Konieczny working against Hansen. Between the legs, leaves it outside Jacoby. Jacoby will drive with the right hand. Little floater blocked from behind by Ackerman. All ball on that one. Now a scrum. And Klaban goes to the floor, and we're going to get a jump ball. As Klaban and Kreklau got tangled up, and Kreklau getting up a little bit slowly.
Yeah. Good hustle there. It helps the Dons maintain possession right here, which can eat up some more time. Forces Owen-Withee to get back on defense, get their mind on the other side of the game. So, all these little things make a difference. Today it might mean a 10-point win. In a big close game, it could be the difference in the game, that hustle play.
Absolutely. Jacoby?
You can never argue hustle.
That's right. Kreklau down low, blocked by Weiler, who's on the floor. Kreklau is, about as long a player as Columbus has, and they're really trying to get him to work down in the post. He's another sophomore for these Dons.
He didn't set himself up real well. He should have took a dribble step to the center, pulled the man to cut him off, and then come back with a semi-hook. And that kid would have been on the bench.
There's a scrum for the ball as Kreklau and Ackerman both go to the floor, and I think we're going to have, it looks like Ackerman was on the baseline and had a hand on the ball. So I don't think a foul was called there as Kreklau, good hustle. He sacrificed his body going for that loose ball.
Right.
And he'll take a seat.
Yeah.
4:03 left to go.
Yeah, you gotta think here. It's not over yet.
Emmett Konieczny left to center, guarded by Klaban. Outside here's Jacoby.
Pull that ball way out. Pull it way out. Shouldn't be talking, but
Charlie Moore.
Pull that ball out because the other team has to come and get you. They can't let you eat up a lot of clock.
There's Olsen down the lane. Outside Charlie Moore left open. Charlie buckets from three, right wing. Nice kick out by Grant Olsen, and Charlie Moore made him pay. We say, Bob, that Charlie only counts in threes. But he actually counts in fours every once in a while as Ackerman's three-pointers off the mark, and Olsen grabs the loose ball.
You have some time here. You have some time.
Yep.
Kick it out.
This is where the football analogy, Charlie Moore doesn't know how to take the foot off the pedal.
All right.
Yeah.
When you're hot, you're hot.
What we often say is a three-pointer for Charlie is like a layup for most kids. That's a good shot for Charlie Moore.
Well, that's a key. Kid knows his shot. Take the shot when it is, and your offensive kids can rebound for you.
Yep. Here's Ackerman, or I should say Amacher spinning, gets the offensive rebound, throws it to Ackerman, but Ackerman looks like he was on the baseline, but I think there was a timeout called by Owen-Withee before that turnover took place.
Yeah.
So 2:56 left to go. The lead is up to 19.
Yeah.
Back up to 19 is, give Owen-Withee credit for hanging around in the second half. They kind of
a good team, any team is going to make a spurt. You got to be prepared for it. If you're not, you're probably going to suffer a loss. You got to expect a good team. It's another thing. If you don't respect your opponent, you're probably going to get beat.
Yeah.
That's sometimes you see in sports and that you You have to see that.
Our game brought to us tonight by H&S Manufacturing in Marshfield. They're hiring. If you're a hardworking individual, then we need you. Do you want a solid company that offers top wages along with a very generous benefits package? Then check out our open positions at H&S. Our benefits include health, dental, life, and disability, plus 401k, cash bonuses, $2 shift bonus, and a substantial vacation plan that has you earning vacation for your very first day. We are looking for welders, painters, and assemblers for both first and second shifts. To apply online, Google us at H&S Manufacturing or log on to hsmfgco.com. No shortage of open positions out there in the workforce right now. So if you're looking for work, you can find some. Yeah, you're tired.
I'm fishing.
You're fish. They might try to bring you back, though. I'm telling you.
I don't know.
My dad's retired too and loving every minute of it.
Well, I don't know if I mentioned I have lots of grandkids and great grandkids, and they're going to the sports times, and got a couple of your little ones. The great grandboys are both in hockey, and I don't make them do anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, great ball movement that time as Jacoby drew the defense, got it to Olsen, who drove down the baseline and drew a defender, and then left it for Noreen, who laid it up and in. Forcing the issue is Klobon. Lots of contact down there. Offensive rebound. We're going to get a foul on Noreen. It's one thing the Dons do very well, especially compared to some of the other high school teams I see, is just the ball movement. They do pass the ball very well.
Well,
unselfish.
But that only happens because kids get to the places they're supposed to.
Yep.
You know, it's not just a good pass. It's kids know where to go, where the openings are, and get to those spots.
Yep.
And that comes with practice and teamwork. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So it's a two-way street. It isn't just the pass. It's the kid without the ball is really often the secret. The kid without the ball is actually the secret.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, human nature is sometimes you don't want to give up that ball because you're scared you're never going to get it back. But if you become somebody that gives up the ball, you'd be amazed how many times you get the ball back.
Right.
As the ball goes out of bounds, and Klobon really thought that ball was off of the Dons player. Instead, they're going to say that it was off of Klobon.
Yeah.
And let's see.
They're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
They're going to argue it. We'll use the word discuss it.
Yep. Roughing is a difficult job, and it's so easy to sit on the outside and question things. But, coaches have to defend their kids, and that's their job.
This is an unusual call, but good roughing is just consistency.
Sure.
Then the coaches and the players can learn to play with that.
Yep.
That was always the case. Find out what kids, and that kind of stuff can do, stay within the limits, know what the officials are going to call, and it just makes for a better game. So it's a two-way street.
Yep.
Good coaching teaches kids, those types of things too. So.
And anybody that's reffed, I think the tendency is to think that the refs are out to get a certain team. And I can tell you from reffing myself and playing, that's not the case. I mean, there might be a bad call here and there, but who can make the right call every single time? As Weaver hits that shot from the high post, and that's kind of where he operates.
Yeah.
And that's his first bucket here in the second half. At least that's the first one I have him down. There's a steal by Owen-Withee. Shot on the way too strong. Up high for the rebound is Weiler, and putback is good.
Yeah.
Here's Noreen. Full court pressure by Owen-Withee. And Olsen turns the corner. Now he's got numbers. Leaves it on a bounce for Konechny. Layup left it short. Rebound comes down to Weaver. Up ahead, Klobon has the ball stolen by Noreen. A little bit sloppy right now here in the final stages. Settle it down. The lead is 15. Yeah. Jacoby gets fouled.
It'll get to be a free throw contest.
Yep, I believe that's Linus Moss is number 32's name. He's not on the varsity roster, but Linus is a junior.
He's getting some playing time.
Well, Owen-Withee has some injuries. In fact, their second leading scorer broke his hand on a dunk.
Well,
so, something I never did.
I could get up there, but we couldn't dunk at that time.
I could get up there too, but never broke my hand on a dunk. Here's Weaver. Skip out to Klobon. Three-pointer on the way. If that's off the mark and over the backboard, it looked like, but Amacher gets the rebound. Putback is good. Counted in a foul.
I'm not too sure that didn't hit the wire up there. So
I was watching that too. It was very close.
Yeah.
And if it goes over the backboard, that's out of bounds. But our angle is kind of difficult to tell, and that ref was right there. So Amaker cashes that one in, and Amaker putting together a nice half. He's up to 12 points in the half. He's got 18 on the night. And at the free throw line, that shot is up and good for Amaker.
And here comes the foul situation. They take him out, so we're going to get fouls. Now it's going to be free throws.
Offensive defense substitutions, and all of a sudden the lead's only 12 points as Charlie Moore inbounds, gets it Olsen. Olsen back to Moore in the backcourt, and he's fouled right away by Klobon. I kind of like that. Coach Weiler actually was my coach in high school.
Yeah.
And I always thought if you know you're going to have to foul, you better start early.
Yeah.
It's the only way that it's going to pay off for you.
Pay off, right.
And like you said, with the offensive to defense substitutions, Amaker is getting set to check in after this free throw by Charlie Amaker, or Charlie Amore, I should say.
Yeah.
Charlie's at the Serve Pro Jamie Wenzel free throw line. Give Jamie Wenzel a call today.
The second one, he can't get in the game.
There you go.
I'm just thinking ahead here.
Yeah, that's next level thinking.
Forces them to keep him on the bench for 30 seconds.
Yep.
Probably won't get the offensive rebound.
Yeah.
In that, so.
No, Owen-Withee is down two starters tonight.
Oh.
They actually gave Columbus all they could handle as that second free throw is off the mark, no good. The lead is 13. Weaver heaves up a three-pointer, no good. Off the backboard, Ackerman trying to get that rebound, and now Kanichi's going to be fouled by Klobon. Really impressed by how Owen-Withee's kind of hung around here in the second half and fought hard.
No quit.
No quit.
Good attitude. That's what you want out of kids. I think that they're probably a little disappointed that some of their shots didn't go either.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Kanichi at the free throw line. The free throw is up and good.
The secret, I think that people don't realize that when you play a team like Columbus, who is minute to minute, second to second, all-time pressure, you have to prepare for that.
Yep.
Because it takes a toll. And if you're not mentally ready for that, it's going to cost you.
Second free throw is up and good for Kanichny. Kanichny having a nice game. Under a minute to play. 70-55. The lead's 15. And there's a turnover. Unforced turnover that time as the pass went off of Klobon's knees and out of bounds. Yeah, like we often say, Columbus not the tallest team, but knowing how to play can make up for a lot of height differential, and Columbus certainly knows how to do that.
Yeah.
Nice inbounds play comes to Noreen. They kick it outside Moore. He's going to shoot that three-pointer. They left him open. I think he was thinking in the back of his head, I really shouldn't do this.
But you don't know. If you don't shoot it this game, it might hurt you the next game.
That's right. Klobon, shot missed. Up high for the rebound. Olsen, he gets tackled lots of contact down there with Amaker, and I think that's going to be on Amaker as he and Olsen got tangled up, and that is going to be the fifth personal foul on Amaker, so he's going to foul out. We'll kind of tally this up. He's got 12, 13. I have him down for 19 points on the ball game tonight. Good game for the junior.
Yeah.
Kind of had foul trouble. He had 3 in the first half, and along with Sam Wilczek, 3 personal fouls, and kind of tough to stay aggressive when you know you've got those 3 personal fouls. You have to be really smart.
Your teammates have to protect you. If you want to stay on the floor for an offensive ability, then your teammates have to cover up for you defensively, and sometimes that doesn't happen. Against a team like Columbus that moves the ball so well and shoots so well from the outside, it's pretty hard to slack off your man to help out.
Olsen makes 1 of 2 at the free throw line that time. Here's Ackerman down the lane. Hangs, shot on the way, no good. Rebound comes down to Quinn Heddlestead, who's onto the floor for the Blackhawks.
Yeah. So
with 28 seconds, the bench is clearing now for the Dons.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed with high school basketball in general. I think that it's going in the right direction. I think, like I said, the in-between shots kind of gone, but and I think the 3-shot is a major part of basketball today, but it does affect some of the inside play and how it's being played. You don't see a lot of inside pick and rolls between big men. They're always picking for a guard or always cutting out to the corner. You don't get that high-low pick and roll type stuff that takes place.
The game is definitely changing, and in fact, you have a lot of teams now don't even consider a player a center anymore. It's just basically they just call them wings and wings and guards basically.
Right.
There's Timler in the backcourt, a little crossover. Down the lane, nice bounce to Hilgeman. Couldn't handle the pass that time. Goes off his hands and out of bounds. 19.6 left to go. Well, Bob, thanks a lot for joining me. I really appreciate talking to you.
I had a good time.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
It's been a good time here in town. And
keep tuning into Zaleski Sports. Follow the Dons from your perch up there in the Northwoods. And three-pointer off the mark, and that's just about going to do it with 9 seconds.
Yeah, so like I said, and when you win this much too, your younger kids get that experience.
Yeah.
And that's a key dog.
Winning breeds winning, and that is absolutely true.
Yeah, it does.
Not only is it good for the kids that are playing, but it's good for the elementary kids that come to these games and they see, their brothers and sisters or kids that they know winning. That breeds more winning.
And I think it creates an atmosphere in school that's good too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it goes into the classroom as well.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks for joining me, man. I really appreciate it. Have a good night.
Had a good time.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks to Bob Cook for joining us. The all-time leading scorer in Dons history was able to join us here in the second half of this one. The Dons victorious tonight, 74-56. Tell you what, we'll come back and take a look at halftime statistics on the Nasonville Dairy postgame report coming up in just a few minutes. We'll also grab Coach Konieczny, and we'll grab a player here tonight too. I think we'll grab Emmett Konieczny tonight, talk to him and see how his ball game went and how they're faring as they get ready for the last few games of the season. Once again, final score tonight, 74-56. We'll be back to Marshall Columbus after this on Zaleski Sports.
I think everyone should just know what makes this place special.
Come and see. That's just what the Lord always said, and put your toe in the water. There are great schools, and it's a good fit. I'd always want them to come and to just feel the goodness and the family atmosphere.
I invite everyone just to come in and see what it's about and to see if it might be right for them and their family.
We invite you to schedule a tour today. Witness the
All right, we're back to Marshall Columbus. Let's take a look at the stats for this ball game as Columbus knocks off Owen-Withee tonight, 74-56. And these stats might be off just a little bit. It was good to talk to Bob Cook tonight. Nice of him to join us for the broadcast, kind of shoot the breeze just a little bit. So these stats might just be off just a touch, but you'll get the gist. As Columbus was led in scoring tonight by Charlie Moore, the sophomore, really stuffed the stat sheet in the second half, hitting 5 three-pointers in that second half. He finished with 7 on the ball game and finished with 22 points on the night. Emmett Konieczny had a nice ball game as well. He finished with 20 points. Sammy Neville had 2 points. Cole Noreen had 8. Sam Wilczek had 8. He had foul trouble throughout the night tonight. Blake Jacoby had 7 points. Grant Olson had 6. And Lucas Kreklau had 1 point for the Dons. For the Owen-Withee Blackhawks, they were led in scoring by Logan Amacher, who had 19 points. He had a big second half of basketball, scoring 13. He was joined by Carter Klaban, who had 11 points, all of those points coming in the second half tonight for Klaban. Gage Hansen had 5, Rob Wendler had 5, Elliot Ackerman had 3, Hayden Weiler had 2 points, and Tyler Weaver had 7 for the Owen-Withee Blackhawks. So the Owen-Withee Blackhawks will fall to 7-10 on the year, 5-6 in the Clover Bell Conference. Columbus Catholic will improve to 14-3 in overall play and 8-1 in the Clover Bell Conference. Getting set for that big matchup next Monday night as the Dons will do battle with the Neillsville Warriors. And that one is going to be for supremacy, at least in part, in the Eastern Clover Bell Conference, as Neillsville is undefeated in the Clover Belt Conference so far this year. We're at we're post-game report, Nasonville Dairy post-game report. We're going to grab Coach Konieczny in just a couple minutes here and also talk to Emmett Konieczny as well. We'll be right back to Columbus Catholic after this on Zaleski Sports.
Nasonville Dairy, family owned and operated, bringing you fresh cheese curds made daily, along with many other varieties of Wisconsin-made cheeses and treats. Don't forget to check out our cheese and sausage trays for your upcoming parties and cheese and sausage gift packages for the holiday season or any other special occasion. Nasonville Dairy, located just southwest of Marshfield on US Highway 10, NasonvilleDairy.com. All right, so we're here with Kim Hyman. Kim, Nasonville Dairy, 125 years in the making. Tell us about that.
You know, it's fantastic. It was the first plant built in Wood County back in 1885. Sal Nason and his family came here, and they started a small dairy plant. Eventually that plant burnt down, but then they rebuilt onto this same facility, and our family moved here in the late 60s in 1968 and took it over from there, and it's been just a fantastic growth. Great community, great people we have working for us. Oh, it's an open market. It's huge. You know, the opportunity for the diversity in the cheese industry is fantastic, and you have to be that way in order to sell a lot of product. And so we've got a great group of people working on the research and development side for us. So it's been really fortunate for us. Oh, right. We have 185 farm families that market their milk through us here at Nasonville Dairy. And we are so lucky we have like the best dairy farms in not only in central Wisconsin, but in the United States, marketing milk through us. So we're just really fortunate on that side.
Actually, we started in 1968. Our father brought us here from another cheese plant in Wisconsin. We had come from the cheese business. We've always been in the business. We had moved around the state in different parts. He brought us here about that time. The plant ran 7,500 pounds of milk at that time, and now runs about 1.5 million a day. So. We originally started out with making cheddar, and now we make cheddar, Colby, Monterey, Farmers Cheese, Pizza Cheese, Quesa Blanca, Quesa de Friar, Seco, Parm, Romano, Asiago, Fontina, Feta Caseri, Cafflettieri, Cafla Graviera, as well as making some Gouda Edam and a little bit of Munster on occasion.
All right, we're on the Nationville Dairy postgame report. Coach K is here. Coach Kanichny, nice win for you guys tonight over Owen-Withee. You kind of controlled this one throughout. Maybe some nervous moments for a little bit down the stretch, but for the most part, you guys were in control, got back in the winning column tonight.
Yeah, we lost our last two, so our boys responded well. I thought they came with a focus and an energy about them. We had Mr. Bobby Cook here to give him a nice little pregame talk in chapel, which was phenomenal. So a lot of great things that our boys can remember tonight.
Yeah, and if you watch the broadcast, didn't do a lot of play-by-play tonight, just talking to Bobby throughout the second half. What a great guy, and what was his message to the kids beforehand?
I just enjoy it. If you went to Columbus or you're from Marshfield and you look at record books, that guy's name is one everybody knows. And when he showed up a few years ago out of the blue to say hi, we kind of developed a little bit of a friendship, and he stops pretty often whenever he's in town.
Just put it on, use the mic. I'm just going to shout some questions. Our mic died. But we've got Charlie Moore and Emmett Kanichny up here, two sophomores. You had 22 points tonight. Emmett, I had you down for 20 points tonight. So good team win for you guys overall. Just tell me how you feel about the season so far and where you guys stand.
We definitely didn't want to lose those last two games, but it felt good to get back in the win column tonight.
Yeah, and I think as you get older, like Coach Kanichny and I were talking about, a loss isn't the worst thing in the world. It kind of gets you focused. So what's practice been like after losing a couple games?
Well, now we got a book to read. I will say that.
A book to read?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, I mean, just been really focusing on being confident and just bouncing back from those games.
Yeah. Talk about your sophomore class, because, you know, we see you and you two playing. We see Krecklau out there. We see Blake Jacoby out there. And then you watch the JV game, and there's sophomores galore. So you guys are putting together something special with your class.
Yeah, it's definitely a bond that I've never had with anybody up until this point. But I think the upperclassmen, like Isaac, Grant in the junior class, and then the 4 seniors, they've all done a very good job of welcoming us as like in our early years in the program, and we've all like kind of gelled very well together.
Now, Charlie, last question here. Towards the end of the game, you guys had the game in hand. You caught it wide open in the corner, and you kind of hesitated, and you were thinking to yourself, correct me if I'm wrong, I really shouldn't shoot this. I really shouldn't shoot this. Oh, well, I'm going to shoot it. Is that what you were thinking?
Oh, yeah. I was just thinking, you know, time and place, checking the clock, making sure, like, I knew there's still time, and I was just like, well, no one's coming. I'm feeling it, so might as well put it up.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.